Good morning. My name is Lama Jigme Gyatso. You can call me Jig if you need to. Welcome to Meditative Musings. This is the Buddha Joy Meditation School. An individual wrote in and asked me what reincarnation was from the Buddha's perspective. Now, I could go on for an hour. I don't want to do that to you, so I'm going to be concise. To understand it from the Buddhist perspective, you first have to understand it from the Hindu perspective. Many, but not all, Hindu teachers explain that within each of us is something called an Atman that's actually part of God, and part of self-realization is rejoining with God, like water returning to the ocean. And that when we die, if we are not fully realized yet, our Atman keeps cycling back and cycling back and cycling back. And they call that process, some people translate that process as reincarnation. Some people find that empowering, some people don't. The Buddhist teachings are much more pragmatic. They don't deal with gods or goddesses. There's no absolute belief in the presence or the absence of gods, goddesses, or pantheons. Not at all. In Buddhism, it is not taught, permanence and separateness are not taught. The opposite is taught, that things change. And that there are causes of that change. We are affected by inside and outside things, phenomena. And we can go into further detail in future videos. If you have, once again, if you have questions, jot them down and then email them to me, or send me them on Facebook, or send them to me on YouTube. So, whereas many people comfortable with the Hindu paradigm use the phrase reincarnation, many Buddhist fundamentalists use the phrase rebirth. To say that, yes, there is a very subtle mind that takes rebirth, but that mind is subject to interdependence and consequential change. Now, within the fundamentalist perspective of Buddhism, many people believe in good rebirths and bad rebirths, and good karma and bad karma. But when we look at Buddha's meditation manual, the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, or the Greater Discourse upon the Four Bases of Enlightenment, Buddha kept it simple. Although he gave us, approximately 12 rules to not be a dick, when it comes to what we say or what we do or how we perform commerce. That really isn't the thrust. In the context, it can be argued those instructions are there merely to help us with our meditation. That if we're creating strife in our environment and in our heart by being a dick, it's going to undermine the fruits of our meditation. That is purely supposition on my part. That is not directly taught in the text. I'm a very simple liberal. I only use two texts, the Tao Te Ching and the Mahasatipatthana Sutta. After decades, I've learned to keep things simple and only use the most poignant sources. When we look at the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, there is no talk of multiple lives, but there is no denial of it. There is no talk about being punished or rewarded for our behavior. Just don't be a dick. That's all it says. It doesn't say why not to be a dick. Just basically, don't be mean to people with our words or our behavior or our commerce. Use our words and our behavior and our commerce in a way that does no harm. But the majority, the thrust of the text, Buddha's text, or the text attributed to a fellow who may or may not have existed by the name of Buddha, or by the title of Buddha, is mindfulness. And so we are told to be mindful of interdependence between our body parts, our elements, between our aspects of our psyche, between in a portion of the text talks about the 5 aggregates and how raw sense contact can affect our evaluation of experience, and our evaluation of experience can affect our labeling, and our labeling can affect the stories we tell ourselves, and the stories we tell ourselves can affect our mood. And in it, there is no shoulds. Buddha does not should all over ourselves or himself. He doesn't say, don't make stories or don't have labels. He says, be aware of them. Notice how they arise. Notice how they pass. Notice the interplay. Notice, notice, notice. And inferentially, Buddha is saying, hey, cultivate awareness and gentle, visceral analysis. That's Buddha's emphasis of interdependence. Buddha, arguably as a liberal, it's my experience that Buddha's main thrust is not karma or rebirth. It's making the most of this mind, this body, these people, this circumstance, and this life. Now, I don't believe in belief, but I find some ideas to be really fun and empowering, and others not so much. I love the idea that an enthusiastic meditator can accomplish the path in less than a decade, or less than a year, or less than a quarter, or less than a fortnight. He can spend his life enriching his wisdom, his compassion, teaching others to do likewise, helping others to do likewise, and take rebirth again as someone who's able to rapidly accomplish the path and spend the rest of his life helping others do likewise. Personally, I'm setting space for myself, but I'm doing it gently. I'm not believing in it. Why? Why? Because belief is a rigidity, a clinging to emotions, a clinging to thoughts. And according to Buddha, clinging causes suffering. Clinging is not going to help us accomplish nibbana, nirvana, enlightenment, or help others do likewise. So I don't recommend believing or disbelieving anything. When people, legend has it that when people would approach Buddha with theological debate, he wouldn't even acknowledge them. When people wanted to get into obscure metaphysical debate, he wouldn't acknowledge them. He kept it simple and pragmatic. And that's what works best for us. So the question is not, are you certain you're going to take an awesome rebirth? The question is not, are you certain you're going to go to Buddhist heaven or Buddhist hell? The question is your meditative practice right now blissful, joyful? Does it fill you with contentment? Does it fill you with tranquility? Does it increase your resourcefulness? Does it increase your resilience? Does it enhance your creativity? Does it help you to become the person that your dog already thinks you are? If it does, great! Have fun. If it doesn't, then find a teacher who will work with you. If you can't, I'll be glad to work with you, either through the PDFs on my website that my students put up, bless their hearts, or my free videos on YouTube. Watch the newer ones, because the older ones are pretty schlocky, pretty much rubbish. I'm not sure why I keep them up there. Or come to one of my classes, either in person or over a webinar, live simulcast. Once again, there's no fees, although donations are always welcome. That's how monks lives, by donations. Some people give a lot, some give a little, some give nothing. The most important thing is you show up and you use what you learn, hopefully in a fun, playful way. That's it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. If you have questions, write me on YouTube or Facebook, and I'll be delighted to answer them. Until next we speak, may you and yours be healthy and happy. Bye-bye now.